Well, the history of me and Jim working on historical work started back in the 60s when urban renewal was starting, and we didn't get started soon enough because it torn most of the downtown down before we got started, but we got upset over the B&O station, and some of us started the Cabell Wayne Historical Society, and it lasted through, we managed to get now there are 13 buildings listed on the National Register of Historic Places in downtown Huntington. So we managed, because of that, we were able to save Old Main at Marshall, and we were able to save the B&O Station, which is now Heritage Village. And we got the Keith Albee Theater listed, and other buildings that you might not be as familiar with. So then the lady, Lenore Kaiser, we considered having this building moved to Heritage Village, but it really wasn't movable. So the lady realized the value of it because we got it listed on the National Register. And she came to my husband one day and said, I want to give you this house, but it has to be a charitable or historical charity operation foundation. And so he agreed, although the house was in terrible condition. We had to tear down the back part because it was totally eaten up with termites. A lot of termite damage to the front too, but we put a new foundation under the house. We've completely heat, air conditioning, new drywall, new floors, ceilings, new crown molding, new lighting. So it's been a major operation, and we've had a little, basically, percentage-wise, small amount of donations and grants, but of course everything's appreciated. We have donation boxes scattered around the building. So my husband actually paid for most of it, and he left a little bit, but it's pretty much used up. So we're now at the stage of what do we do and how do we continue to preserve the building. So if you have any ideas, let me know. It's like you chase the dog and then you catch it, and then what do you do with it? But starting with this room, this is the addition. If you want to walk around, I'll show you where the addition starts and where the old building is. This actually was originally a patio, a covered patio with a brick floor. So we just enclosed it with windows, basically. Okay, this is the original old wall. This was the end of the main house. And everything you see from here on is additions. And a lot of it, we have used old materials out of houses. I don't know if you remember Brass Thomas, but this was a house that was owned by him, and the people that inherited it tore it down and gave us the stairway, a lot of the woodwork, the sliding doors, and we have managed to basically refinish everything and stain it. I think it looks pretty good.
I think it looks real good.
It's beautiful.
And then this was donated by Mary Hodges' family,
Is that right?
her brother, after she died.
Yes.
And this furniture was donated by a doctor in Charleston. Now these, I think, these two chairs came from the Vinson family. And we've had them for years and years, but we had them recently recovered and reworked. And this table was a real deal, I think. I bought it for $200 because I thought it was such a deal. Don't you think so?
Yes, I do. It's beautiful.
And this painting is Louisa on this side and Fort Gay on this side. And it's done by a famous artist from Alexandria, Virginia, that was born and raised in Louisa.
That was a deal on your table, by the way.
What?
That was a deal on your table.
I think so. And this piece, the lady and I were bidding against it at High Point, and I ended up getting it. We weren't really bidding on it. If I didn't take it, she was waiting for it. So it's quite an old and very fancy carved. It's for umbrellas and hats. If you walk through here, you can go into the original part. And this we've made into a cloakroom. You want to walk through? This is the dining room. And a lot of this furniture in here was in wretched condition, and we got it for a steal, I would say, at 14th Street West from Hattie and Nan's.
Yes.
And this is one of the pieces we got there, and we've redone it, and this table was the devil. We had to get the finish off of it. It was quite a job. But these chairs we got at the rehab place for $25 a piece.
Oh, my goodness.
And these she threw in if I would buy the table. A lot of
Meant to
the,
be. It was
what?
meant to be.
I don't know how many of you knew Bobby Traynor, but she gave us all this blue and white pottery.
She'd be pleased.
Yeah. And a lot of this cut glass also she gave. The big bowl up there with that, it's beautiful with the leaves in it, she gave. And
This is amazing.
It's amazing. I had no idea this was.
we had some help with the decorating on these curtains. Sally Weiler
Oh, yeah.
did the top treatment, but we found a place that does restored original on old looms. They weave this lace in Scotland, and there's a guy in Vero Beach, Florida, that sells it all over the U.S., and he sells a lot to movie studios because they use it in antique houses. And this is how thick the walls were. This is the supporting wall. It's brick, and we covered it with wood. I think it originally was covered with wood, but then the floods had ruined it, and it was back to the brick. The mantle was painted pink, and Beverly Lawrence, the artist, reproduced the original finish on it. The chandeliers are all reproductions from House of Antique Hardware in New York City.
This is just unbelievable.
If you want to come this way, this is, I don't know if you all remember James Hayworth. He wrote historical articles for the Herald Dispatch, the newspaper. This is him as a child, and he was born across the street and watched the house being built.
Wow.
And he played in here as a child. So I haven't done it yet. We have a book that was printed. He was president of the Cabell Wayne Historical Society when he died suddenly. And so we're going to put his current picture before he died and a write-up about him here explaining that his writings in the newspaper are how we were able to build the stairway back the way it was originally.
Wow.
He had written it in detail. And this, we think this was Coin Harvey built this room for his office. He was he became a lawyer. He passed the law when he was 19 years old, and his brother Robert Harvey, Thomas Harvey, I'm sorry. What is his name? I can't read it. Thomas Harvey, Judge Thomas Harvey taught him law, and he became a lawyer at 19. And here's a picture of him as a young lawyer. I think he was in Cleveland. He moved to Cleveland. He married a girl from Gallipolis. And this was in my husband's office. It was painted for his father by famous artist. It's Justice. On loan. This is his desk. It's on loan.
This is a nice little tribute there.
Yes, it is, yes, it is. I saw that.
That's beautiful.
That's very
Yes.
nice.
And Beverly Lawrence reproduced the original.
Oh,
Trying to stay out of the way.
She actually was able to trace some of the buildings off of the old mural that was so damaged we couldn't use it. And so they're the right scale and everything.
that's beautiful. Wow.
Hmm. And the ceiling was eaten up with termites. We had to patch it and
Oh
finish it.
It's absolutely beautiful.
And this is where the trees were growing.
Oh, goodness. Really?
Yeah. The water was pouring in through the walls. But
Was the original ceiling framed kind of like that with the wood and all?
it was, yes.
Was? Let you go first.
And this, we think, was his breakfast room. We're still working on it. These are some old chairs that we've had. They're not what we want in the final stage. But this is the kitchen that wouldn't qualify for today's health department. But the stove is a reproduction of one that they could have used in that period.
Trying to get Betty through.
Yeah, somebody with two good arms did.
Um,
Trying to get her around the chair, I couldn't move it.
This floor is, we came up with this idea because Monet, who was French, and this house is French, he had a floor like this in his kitchen. And we have a picture of it. In fact, I've been there and seen it. And he had a stove similar to this. And we tried
In
to,
Monet's house, did you say? With
Yeah.
Yeah.
we tried to make these look like old antique cabinets. These are new, and we used the flooring that was left over to make the countertops and put exterior polyurethane on them, so they're pretty indestructible and meet health codes. And the
this is a
kitchen,
reproduction, you said?
Yeah. so we haven't really totally finished the kitchen. We haven't put the crown mold on and various things, but eventually we will. This is a plaque that we haven't installed yet, but it's, he might want to take a picture of it. It's the people that worked on the front steps.
Interesting.
It says that the design engineer was Theodore Ted Triplett, who was head of the engineering department at Mount West. The mason was Harvey Sifford. The iron railings were done by local man Steve Wickline, and the stucco was James Dement. This is a workroom right now, but I can show you what it is. It will be an office eventually. We have, you're welcome to step in, but it will be an office, but today it's this workroom.
Today it's a work.
We have a utility room under the steps and then the furnace room over here. And this is the lift that goes to the second floor. And this is the ladies' restroom. We have 2 toilets, one's handicapped and one is regular. And this is the men's restroom. On this side it's similar.
The gents, yes.
Yes. And the back door, I probably should, I can open it and show you. It was designed for caterers to come in. They could back in here and unload.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Or furniture deliveries, whatever.
There's just surprise around every corner, isn't there? I mean,
You all thought of everything.
this is amazing.
Huh?
You thought of everything.
Not really, but
We think you did.
this cabinet here was used by the Masons. It was painted blue. And what we do is, the artist Beverly Lawrence, we painted orange. And then she makes it look, goes over the orange and makes it look like walnut. And the top was white, and it was over the entrance to the parlor, big archway going into the parlor upstairs, but it was a Victorian addition, so we decided to take it out, and we found a use for it, and it fit perfect on the,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And then we put lighting in it recently, and we're, Gerald Sutpin, who's a river expert, is, this is an unfinished thing. He didn't get it finished with everything, but they've ordered some little plexiglass shelves to put in it. Do you have it? Oh, this, I forgot. This is, this was given by Gerald Sutpin. It's, this picture was in Scribner's Magazine the year that Huntington, the year before Huntington was a city. And this is Huntington, and it was about this big, and CMB Blueprint blew it up to this size. Yeah, we had it framed.
Wow.
Ooh. I don't know, do y'all want to go up on the elevator, the lift, to see the upstairs?
I don't know if anybody else does.
We'll take the steps if that's okay.
Okay. Okay, you can go. Anybody wants to go in here can? I use it all the time, but I shouldn't. You know? I should get the exercise.
I think you probably get enough.
What?
exercise. You get enough.
Not really, not on my legs.
Well, thank you very much for doing that.
Arlene Agee, I haven't, she gave us enough money to buy this lift.
Who did?
Arlene Agee,
Oh, wonderful.
little by little, not all at once, but
Very nice.
through the foundation for the tri-state.
Uh-huh. Good.
But it's kind of a necessity here. Okay.
Wherever you want us.
Well, let's start with the parlor. It makes the best impression. According
We
to
got carried away back then.
our florist,
each other eventually.
our florist for the opening was Gary Garrison, and he gave us all the flowers. And he said we should encourage people to come up the front steps because he loved the parlor, and that would make a good first impression. So come this way.
I would have been here if I'd have known something about it.
What?
What's the open house or whatever we're calling that?
Well, it was, we just took lists and invited people,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
but
Because I would have surely been here.
anyway, this is the parlor. This is where that big archway that's downstairs was, but originally it was like this, so we put it back. But this woodwork was white when we started.
How'd you get the white off?
Well, we took it to Bix and they stripped it. But then I had people from the recovery center would come in here and sand and help me with it.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. There's supposed to be a patio, a deck out here, balcony. And we can't have it because if you look out there, you see this awful building next door that we need to acquire. If we can come up with $350,000, he wants to sell it. So these chandeliers, there again, they're all from House of Antique Hardware in New York Reproductions. The draperies were made by a company. Well, I designed the draperies. They're in that drawer, you can see my design. But they were made in Beckley by National Drapery Company. And they came down and hung them and everything. And there again, the lace curtains are reproductions of originals. The sofa and these two chairs are quite valuable. They're donated. As the secretary was donated, the rug was donated, the lamps. Well, I guess everything in here was really donated.
Do you have any detail on the stained glass? That's just beautiful.
It's original to the house. That's why my husband kept somebody living here for years, was to protect the windows.
Oh,
He had schizophrenics and you name it, everyone living here that he didn't pay him anything. He just let him use the house and he paid the utilities. So, and then the fireplace was restored, and all the fireplaces, we lined the chimneys, and they're all working gas fireplaces. You have any questions about this room?
Is this where the steps are that come up?
Oh, yeah, I could show you. This furniture is just cheap furniture, but we put it out on the front porch for the opening. It looked pretty good, actually. Well, I don't know if I can get it open. But you can look
The
out.
window, yeah.
We put some ferns out there with it, and it didn't look too bad.
Like the baseboard, was it similar to that? I mean, that's something that,
This is some of the original baseboard,
it?
yeah.
wow.
We had to patch this because the floor was so that unlevel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was sunken in the middle. We had to put steel beams under it. This is Coin Harvey when he ran for president of the United States against Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And you know who won. This bedroom suit here was made by Jane Fotis's grandfather, great-grandfather.
Really?
He came from Germany, and he hand-carved all of this, the bed, the table, the dresser, picture frames, and she donated it
Oh, really?
when she moved to the big house at Woodlands.
Woodland, yeah.
She said none of her children wanted this.
Oh, can
And
you
this
imagine?
was donated by Meg Hanshaw, the Hanshaw family in Huntington. It was originally an organ, but Frank Hanshaw had it converted to a desk.
Oh,
It's beautiful carving on it. And these were Bobby Trainer's draperies that no one would buy. And so I was helping with the sale, and they were left over, and we added the fringe and put them in here. They don't look too bad. This light fixture, of course, we didn't turn the light on, but it has a cherub or something up in the middle. It's pretty. There's a light right there behind you.
Push.
Oh, look
And we had to reopen the doorway here, and we had to cut through all that, but this was my carpenter's design. And then Beverly painted these. Norman Baker, I don't know if you remember Loretta. Her son gave us that dresser, which is beautiful. This one was given by that doctor from Charleston that gave the furniture downstairs. And this, the Marshall president came here and toured the house. I should wait till they get in here and I'll tell them. Anyway, he walked in this room and he just stood and he looked and he looked and he looked, and I thought, what is he thinking? And he said, I can't believe this. And I said, what? He said, in California, I had the same bathtub, the same sink, the same faucet, the same toilet, and the same mirror.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that was also donated by Loretta Baker's son, Norman Baker. The wash basin and the cabinet.
She had one of the antique stores.
14th Street. This is a closet and this is a furnace room. Excuse me, Daddy.
Careful.
This lady over here is Miss Studebaker. She was born and raised across the street.
really?
And her father, and I've got to research it. I was trying to look her up on the internet, never could. I need help on the research. She married Mr. Studebaker that owned the car company. And this is also given by that Charleston doctor. Any questions? Oh, I forgot to tell you that Ken Wolf, that owned Magic Makers, gave us the top part of that cabinet, and he gave us the the French cabinet in the entrance hall.
Absolutely beautiful.
And my son Sam gave this because his wife didn't like it. This stairway is, this part is new because it had to be 42 inches high. But we got a fairly good match, I think, to the original. Huh? This in here is we call it the conference room. This doorway was in Huntington's first architect's home down on Fifth Avenue, where the bank, Chase Bank is now. And for years it was in Heritage Station. And they built a bathroom on this side of it, so they'd taken all the woodwork off, and we had to replace the woodwork. One interesting feature is the doorway, which is, I have to open it so you can see. It has a train embossed on the door. Can you see it? Let me turn the lights on. It's hard to see it. I can see it from right here. And this is the mantle out of that same house. And Sue Wood's father died, and she donated all of this furniture, the desk, the bookcase, the chairs, all the leather chairs.
Nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Is any part of this house, like this room, functional? Do you have meetings here or anything, or is it?
We have our board meetings here.
Okay.
You could serve food here. It's close to the kitchen.
Now,
This-
this floor has a commercial kitchen?
Yeah.
No, or upstairs?
No, I'll show you.
Okay.
This probably will end up being an office, but it does have a bathroom. So, bathroom is back there, back on the left. Probably end up being an office. We don't know the use of it yet. It could be, Sam thinks maybe you'd have a Marshall professor live here that teaches economics or whatever. You know, a visiting professor. But I can't see them wanting to sleep here. Can you?
I don't know. Oh, another.
And this is the commercial kitchen back here. Well, the caterer loved it last week. It's the first time it had been used.
Yes.
Has a lot of counter space, a hand washing sink, has a trash pull out here where you dump the food, and here you can rinse the dishes off, set them over here. This is your soapy water, here's your Clorox water, and here's your rinse water. And this is for vegetables. It has to be a separate sink. See, we couldn't get all this fit in down in the ground floor.
Right.
The guy was that was working with this contractor. This was originally planned to be just a deck with no roof. And I said, how much more would it cost if we made it? And we didn't have anywhere to store paint. So that room behind you is our storage room. So he says $7,000. So I said, do it. So it's a pretty valuable addition, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. We have a washer dryer.
You've thought of everything and then some.
Huh?
You have thought of everything and then some.
Well,
This is
I bought
just-
that from Bobby Trainer's estate. The washer dryer, it's used.
That's okay, but the whole house is just, it's just,
fabulous.
it's that's the best word.
Really?
Fabulous,
You
yes.
like it?
Oh my gosh, I think I would love it.
understatement.
Love it, every
Good.
detail, every detail.
is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
What,
Well-
quite the treat, Mickey, for doing this, quite the treat.
And even the new kitchen, I mean, it fits in, it's.
It does,
Yes.
doesn't
Do you know these cabinets came from Home Depot? And the cabinets, the countertop, and the stove are only a little over $4,000.
Wow. Did you paint the cabinets or?
No, they were like
Oh, I
this.
love the color.
I love the color.
Love the color.
I love the color.
Yes. Yes.
And we'd already put the floor down and it matches.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yep.
Oh gosh.
Is this a tile?
Now what are your countertop made of?
It's just Formica.
That's beautiful. That is,
It's something you can go out there and buy.
And just buy
They
it.
stock it.
it's so pretty.
It
looks high end.
just works.
It
It
does.
absolutely
It looks
all
nice.
It's
works.
just meant to be, it's just meant
Yeah.
to be.
Wow.
Well, we have a skirt. We have the material, but we're going to put a metal rod across here and put a skirt on this.
Yeah,
Right,
to hide
right.
your,
But we haven't yet. Now, Dennis Weaver gave us a sewing machine this week. So Sherry and I, the girl you saw downstairs working, we're going to try to make the skirt ourselves.
absolutely.
Uh-huh.
I have no doubt that you'll make it perfect.
Yeah. Y'all have any questions?